Hi YouTube, Wayne's Fish Tanks 99 here, back at it for another video. On this week's video, I'm going to be showing you guys my aquascape on my 20-gallon betta fish tank. So I decided to put a betta in this tank. I pretty much went with my wife to the local fish store that we have where I live, and I kind of said, well, look, I know you also enjoy the hobby, so I let her pick out a fish, and this is what she decided. She decided on a half moon betta fish. So this one's white at the moment, but she will turn a color, so that's kind of what's interesting about the white bettas, is they will turn a certain color at some point, so you kind of, it's kind of a guessing game, and it's kind of interesting that you don't really know what the color is going to be. So what I have planned for this tank, I have a piece of, it's fake wood, but I'm going to use this as well as attach some plants to it. And then I'm going to put that on one of the sides and kind of have an open area for swimming for the betta, and then have a planted area in the side so she can hide if she needs to. So what I'm going to be using for plants, in this bucket here I have some jungle val, little pieces on the bottom. I have some java fern here. I have a couple smaller sprigs. I also have some larger ones, and then I have a couple of bunches of Amazon sword plants. So these I'll plant in the substrate, but the java fern, the roots aren't all that great, so I'm probably going to have to attach these to the base of the wood, which is okay, and then that way it'll root itself. So what I like to do is to attach it, I use just normal sewing thread. You can use fishing line too, or anything like that. Just something that's not gonna pretty much disintegrate as soon as you put it in the water. So you want something to keep it together just until the roots like grasp into the soil, or sometimes they'll wrap around the wood itself, and then it'll be stationary there. So I'll just quickly show you guys what I'm gonna do. So I haven't yet decided if I want to do it this way. I'll probably do maybe this facing the front. That way you don't really see the big cave in the back, which is alright. So I'll just attach the java fern to the back here. So what I like to do is start off, just take a longer piece of thread than you're probably going to need, at least that way you don't need to recut it. I'm going to take my scissors, just cut it here, and then what I might even do is break this up into 2 bunches, which is alright. You can always do that. And just, it's kind of difficult to do it here with no table, but I'll try to attach it somewhere along the bottom here. Try to wrap this thing around. Okay. Now it's kind of wrapped around here, and now you're just going to want to make a little knot first before you tighten it. And you can always kind of adjust it afterwards, depending on where you're going to want the thread to be. It'll only be visible temporarily, so just keep that in mind when you're doing this. So yeah, so you're just going to want to tie it kind of so it looks like that, and then you just want to cut the back off. So I'm just going to do all the java fern here, and maybe some of the red crypts. I'll attach it to this, and then I'll come back to the video whenever I'm done that, since it's going to take a little while. Alrighty, so so you can see I attached two of the Java fern at the front and then one at the back. So I kind of figured out this piece of driftwood wasn't that, I mean it is fake, so it's not as easy to attach any plants to it, so it was a little bit more difficult. So with some of them I definitely did use fishing line. I felt that worked a little bit easier and it gripped a little bit better. So as you can see, the betta fish is checking it out. I think it's going to be kind of nice because as you can see in the back there, it's going to be more of an area to hide, and then up here I'll do more of a swimming area. And what I'm also going to try and do is maybe plant some of the smaller little grafts of the Java fern and of the red crypts in the front here. That way it'll give them ample lighting and it'll give them lots of room to grow, and they won't be interfering with any of the other plants. So I'm just going to plant some of that stuff now. I also have a piece of anubias here. It does have some algae growing on the leaves, so I might actually cut those leaves off at the moment. I know you don't need to, but it's just the leaves aren't going to grow any better because they're completely covered in algae. So with my scissors here, I'm just going to cut the plants there and then the leaves, and then at least that way, and this one's not doing too hot, and at least that way then your plant won't, like the natural instinct of your plant is going to be to try and repair the broken leaves, and then it's going to hinder all the new growth with any of the new smaller leaves. So at least this way it'll focus all of its nutrients and its energy on the new smaller leaves, and it'll focus on sprouting new leaves. So I mean, I know it looks a lot smaller than it did before, but it's gonna help out the plants and growing and all that. So I'm actually gonna plant this. I'll take the pin sets here. I might not need it for this, only because there's not very many roots to go down. Trying to see where to place it. Maybe I'll do that at the front here. So again, with anubias, all you want to do is just cover the roots. You don't want to bury the actual, I don't know what it's called. I would call it like the stem, the trunk itself, where all the leaves are coming out of. Just because if you plant that, it's just going to start to rot. So you definitely don't want that to happen. Now I'm going to do some crypts, or sorry, some more spriggets of Java fern. Do that in the back here. But again, same thing. You don't want to bury the leaves in anything. So I'll take some red crypts here. Keep that down here. And especially with the C-Chem substrate, it should definitely promote some nice plant growth, which is definitely what we're after. So, and then here, and you can kind of see on this Java fern here, the roots are already gripping to the rocks, so that way you can tell like it's adhering to the rocks, and that way it's not going to float up anytime soon. Yeah, if I drop it from here, you can see it'll just sink right down to the bottom. So that way, you can tell that the plants are doing well in this tank, even though I've only had them in here for a couple weeks. So it's definitely a good sign when you see that stuff. And at least betta fish aren't really don't really nip at plants or anything like that. That's kind of one reason why in cichlid tanks you can't really have any plants, only because the cichlids will kind of tear it up, which you obviously don't want. Alrighty, it's another red crypts. Bury this root. Perfect. Then I just have some of the Sagittarius here. Doesn't really matter where I put it. This is kind of just the corner to experiment. Doesn't really matter to me if the plant growth isn't all that great, but they'll start to grow slowly, which is the only thing you can ask for. So it'll take time, but at some point they'll grow to be bigger plants. So and there we go. And you see here, there's like this is the stump for the Java fern, so you don't want to bury that, but the roots you can bury. Now, if I'm correct, I think I could plant this and some would come out. So what I will do is just plant this. Make sure the top's looking out, and then from there we can see. So yeah, so that's going to be it for this video, but it's just showing you guys how I'm aquascaping my betta fish tank. So obviously betta fish do like to hide, but they also like an open area to kind of display themselves. So that's what I kind of have on the left here is the open area, and then the right where she can hide if she wants to. She's got a whole bunch of plants to hide behind, even this here, and then right now she's in the cave there. You can see that she's coming out. Maybe I'll take the camera over there. But yeah, that's going to be it for this video. If you guys like the video, please like and share the video, and comment if you have any questions, or if you'd give a thumbs up, that would be great as well. And I will see you guys on the next video. Thanks guys, bye-bye.